Yeah, hi traders. Welcome to the week ahead. It's GJ here. Trust you've all had a good weekend and a profitable week of last week. Let's get into the housekeeping. All information in this video is for educational purposes only. It's not intended to provide financial advice. By watching this video, you accept full responsibilities for your actions, your trades, your profit or loss results, and agree not to hold the distributors of this video series liable for any of the information shared. Let's get right to it. I'm not going to go through every Aussie pair. I'm going to try and be very succinct, and most of them are at key areas of resistance and support. Let's take a quick look, run through them quick, and I'll stop at individual pairs that I am looking at very specifically to get a trade on this week. You can see the significant areas here on the Aussie CAD. You've seen a move down and it has been a good one. There's the entry. Wow. And there's the move down over the last couple of weeks. What we have now is a bottom. Every Aussie pair is the same. Not going to waste time going into the whys and wherefores of that. What are we looking for right here is some sort of a retest of this area. We could get sideways movement, and then I'd be looking for an engulfing candle going down. Aussie Swiss is very, very interesting. If we go and have a look at the monthly chart, you'll see the big picture. Bear in mind that the Swiss economy is very strong at the moment, and I don't know about you, but I do want to get in. This is a historical low. In other words, we have not been this low before in the history of this pair. So what are we looking for? Very simply, I know that this is a monthly, but I want you to get the big picture. There's the month. Let's go down to the weekly. Just bear with me for a minute. I will change that to my monthly color as well. Let's go down to the weekly. Remember that the support and resistance areas are much stronger on a weekly and a daily than the smaller time frames. Are much more reliable to trade. So you can see very strong downtrend, and again this week's candle has started out and we've already seen a bit of a pullback off the top of the high today. Very simply put, this could either go one of two ways: retest and then some more of this, or this week form an engulfing candle in and around this area, and I'd be looking for a engulfing candle in there, maybe on a daily, a 4-hour, whatever takes your fancy. But bear in mind, that we're near historical lows. This thing could go a lot lower. We need this here to hold. If it doesn't and comes down, we're making history. So just wait, be patient, look for a really strong signal. I'd actually wouldn't go off a daily chart on this. I would look for a strong signal on a daily. Aussie JPY, similar setup, significant area of support. Let's see what happens. Can it go lower? Yes, it can. It can easily retest these areas here. Remember, our analysis is only opinions, and until the market confirms that our analysis is right, that's all our thoughts and ideas are. We don't have a crystal ball. If we do get a breakthrough here in an engulfing candle going south on a smaller time frame, then I would be looking to trade this pair down to the next key significant area of resistance. Just curious about what that would be. Yeah, it's 52 pips, so you're only looking at a little scalp, and maybe the London or the New York might give that to you tonight. Who knows? This, I think, is a very key exception point, so watch that area. Aussie New Zealand is the same. Yep, we all would like to see it go north. The Australian economy is not doing too well. New Zealand is doing a little better, but again, two very similar currencies, and I'm really reluctant to jump in this pair too quick. You can see off the monthly chart that here's a significant area. We are at it now. Can it come lower? Well, there's the low there, but the lowest point from where these spikes are down there. Once we get below this, which is parity, we're in bad shape if this comes down lower. So looking for a turn here, no trade at present. Aussie USD, this is the one that I wanted to just spend a little bit more time on. Here we go. This is historical lows here. This is a significant area. We're right at that place, around about there now. And I just want to come down and check the weekly chart. You can see very strong candle last week, significant areas in here. What we are looking for, if we're going to get a pullback and a test, come down to the day that's more in tune with the current market. You can see the move down. I just would be very wary about taking this north as a pullback. I would want to see a daily close above, so you can see inflection points here. At the very least, I need to see a candle taking this out. Then I would be getting in very small lot sizes and just treating this as a pullback. If you go and have a look on the 4 hour, you may well get an entry this week, but be careful. Bear in mind that there is economic data coming out, cash rate data, monetary policy statements, inflation data, quite a lot of high impact for the Aussie. So be very careful. This is where I would want to see a close above to go north. Otherwise, I'm not trading it. And of course, anything that moves underneath here would be a goer as well. Okay, let's go to the CADs. CAD Swiss, I want to have a look at that. I want to show you we're right near historical lows. Here they are here. Here they are. You can see historical lows, and we will put the key support area in here. Okay. This has just been range bound. It's been range bound since 2015. And yes, it has offered trading opportunities on the daily and lower time frames. What I want to see is if it comes to here, even if it breaks down below this and then goes back up, I'll be looking to add wherever it turns, and I will be stacking it up. I am not that confident that we are going to get a massive run up because of the strength in the Swissy at the moment. So be wary. If you take this off here, I think we should have this as our target, and there are a few pips. If we can get this sort of scenario here, go down to your lower time frames, get good entries, get this sort of scenario, we've got some really good potential to get up, capture at least some of that 600 pips up there. So there you have it. That's my pick out of those pairs. You can see when you come back to the daily, it's got a way to go. Will it stop here? We'll have to wait and see. It's already broken this area, so my bet is that it's possibly going Sorry, it's possibly going to here. And that's my pick of the CAD crosses. No trade on CAD JPY. We can see that the CAD's been weakening against the yen, and we're at a critical level. Currently, no trade. Swiss JPY, not interested. Swiss versus Japanese pair, two safe currencies. Possibly my preference is to trade this north rather than south. Am watching it, but being cautious. I'd have to have it close below here after a daily candle change before I was interested in going further south. Right, Euro AUD is the pick. Euro AUD and Euro NZD are the pick of the trades and the Euro pairs as far as I'm concerned. We have seen quite a strong move up. We had sideways movement the week before last, and here's this coil like a spring. We're getting a lot of this stuff where it just goes sideways and then it breaks out. And so we had a good move up. We are at key levels of resistance, so be careful. I'm hoping for a bounce. This is one of my top trade ideas. I'm just going to go and have a look at the monthly to get a perspective there. I like that perspective. Look at it. You can see it. We don't trade, or well, I don't trade. You might trade monthly, but I don't. But I really value monthly support and resistance areas because they are pretty reliable. You can see it's come down and it's just gone sideways since about August last year, and they're critical areas, and somewhere in and around here's another one. All right, let's not waste too much time. Go down to the weekly. You can see it's at the top, and I'm looking for a little move down and looking for an engulfing candle after daily candle change or on the 4-hour chart. This range for me is worth a trade, but I have to wait and see to see what happens. I'll just quick look at 4-hour. Nothing's really interesting or exciting me. Look at these indecisions here. So one of the things I do based on what I see on the bigger time frames and after the daily candle change, I would not consider a trade unless I get a breakdown. I've alarmed it as such. Euro CAD is very similar, same sort of setups. You can work it out for yourself. Euro Swiss, we are at historical lows again. Real interesting with these Swiss pairs. I am itching to get in and hold, but I'm going to be patient because we have to see some weakness in the Swiss and some real strength in some of these other currencies. It's just not there. So I'm not going to jump in. Simple. Here we go. Here's these areas here. There's a historical low. Don't have to waste too much time. That's significant there. And if we come down to the weekly, you just go straight to the daily. All good. I think there's some potential of some really, really good trades. I like to see it come down here. I'd be much more inclined to have a go from here. Just simply put on your trend line. Have a look maybe at the 4-hour. You might get a decent deal. Realize that this could pan out as a bit of a bottom. Look for an engulfing candle and then up you go. Okay, Euro pound, nothing. Euro JPY is mucking about. Looks, we made this move down. Now look what happens. We're just panning out along the bottom, lots of indecision. So it's got to break out of this range here, one way or the other. If it breaks above there, then maybe you could say the uptrend will continue. But I personally don't think so. We've had higher highs. It has not been able to, well, it has made a higher high, but what we've got here, we now have a lower low. So what I expect technically on this pair is just to come up here and then come down, and we could get a reversal. So that would be in line with some of the other currencies against the yen. certainly seem to be weakening. Here we have the same scenario on the Euro New Zealand, provided the New Zealand and Aussie dollars continue to weaken. Bearing in mind we can get a little pullback, I'm expecting more of the same down here, and this is not a reversal by any means of the imagination as far as I'm concerned. Okay, we've broken out of the trend line. We have made a high. We've got to come back here and make something like this. If I get rid of the drawing tools, we break the trend line there. We went sideways in here. Now we're at a key inflection point here. Can it get above it? I think if it's going to go higher, we will see some sort of a pullback and a break of this area here. But it can just as easily go the other way, bounce off this area after a retest and come down. Right. I don't know that we've seen the Euro USD. Here we go. Nothing there. Key areas on this pair, self-explanatory really. We might need to go to the monthly on this one. $110, $111 is a very key area. If we get a move and a close above here, then I would suggest you would look at some bullish opportunities. The other key area is right down in here at around 110, which is somewhere in there. I'm looking to trade this back, but as I have stated before, the US dollar has shown a little bit of weakness towards the end of last week. We need to be wary of it and watch what happens. But right now I'm looking this week and the next day or two to get some sort of a bounce off here. Looks like I might get it, and we're already almost an hour into the London session. Wouldn't be surprised if my pending orders have been taken in, because I did have pending orders here on my trading platform. So it looks like I'm in, and my target will be, we're up going well by the look of that. My target will be back down here. Just paused and had a look at one of my platforms, and yeah, I'm already in. That's my target there. Okay, moving on. The pound pairs are very similar to the euro. There is potential setups this week or in the next couple of days, maybe even in this session, for some pullback with the pound AUD, possibly the pound CAD and the pound NZ. I'm very, very cautious because I'm aware of the volatility. I'm preferring not to be having too much exposure on the pound pairs. If you have a look at this, you know, you can see that we've been in an uptrend. We can also see that we're at a key inflection point. There is a key area there. Probably you'd go down there. So right, looking for a bounce, and depending on this session, we're not quite an hour into the London session as I make this tape. You know, looking at price structure, I'd be looking at a possible pullback to there if you wanted to take a scalp. So let's go down, and for the London, I will often, yeah, see, look, there's a lot of indecision. There's nothing there that really floats your boat. You know, these areas are critical support areas for the hourly chart. Doesn't give me great confidence, so I'm just going to back off. No trade there, but I am very interested My pick would be the pound Swissy. And the big question is, are we at the lows? I very much doubt it, but if we can come down into here, there's my first potential buy. If we're going to go lower, bearing in mind how strong the Swiss is, I would wait. And all I'm waiting for is a bullish candle. You know, this sort of scenario here, this scenario here is a good one. Looking for this kind of signal off key areas of support. Can this come down? Absolutely. And we are looking at a possible, we're looking at a possible scalp if you came down into here. Around about 85 pips. So just, you might get it through the London, New York session. Here's the key area that you'd look for it to be broken. Right in here. If you're doing short trades within the session, I quite like the hourly chart, but have a look at it and see what it's doing. We've had now into the London. It doesn't look that hot really. There's the arrow there off the daily, so no trade. Same with the caddy. Pound JPY looks like it's making a move right now, actually. In actual fact, I'm just going to stop. I like the look of this. And I think, let me have a look. I'm pretty sure that I will be in a trade. Let me just check the daily. No, I won't be in a trade yet. It's this area here, right here. So for me, there's no trade. I do have pending orders just sitting in here. I forgot that I was on the hourly chart there, but that's a key area. If I get close below there, and I know that there's quite a lot of pips in here, but I'd just rather stay. If I get a bounce off here, I'll love it, but I'm keeping out of trouble. So no trade for me, no trade on the pound ZD. There is the potential to trade back down, but it's not a lot. If you have a look at price structure, here you go. And this could be a retest of some sort and up. And if the New Zealand and Aussie dollars keep dropping, I would be inclined to be looking for a trade north. Okay, pound USD, no trade for me. My bias is probably still bearish. If we have a quick look, just a really quick look, you can see that this area here is a key inflection point right in there. Now it looks at this stage on the weekly that we're just going to stay in this range, but I'm happy to trade from here to here and from here at the top to the bottom. Before I really load up and get confident, we haven't been above 134. Look at it, and I think there's a little bit of way to go. Midterm, you know, second quarter stuff, I get a close above here, and the US dollars are still going sideways and playing funny, and we're getting some lift in inflation. In the pound, I would be then really willing to take a north trade. New Zealand, Swissy, very similar. There are some really historical. Quickly go to the monthly because I want to show you. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Here we go. You can see key inflection points right here. I just encourage you to mark them on your trade. They're too far away from price action to be trading on monthlies, and I mean, go for it if you want to, but I like to have them on because I can see the big picture. If this level holds, maybe it could even go down here, but already we've seen 2 or 3 months back in July, September, around August, it made a move up. I know some of you caught trades here. I did. Got stopped out on the second positions here. Did not trade it back down. I'm looking for another opportunity this week. But bear in mind that this could just come down this way too. Right, New Zealand JPY, beautiful move down last week. You can see it, and key areas. Look at this. This is a key area. So if this holds, we're looking for a turn and a continuation. At this moment, it's not a reversal. Not a reversal at all, because the trend is holding of higher highs and lower lows. But this is a key area. So watch it. If you get a good engulfing candle here, pending order under here, once it's breaking, and I think there's potential to come, potential for a couple of hundred pips, possibly. Conservatively, look at 100 anyway. So that's another key pair for me. There we go, New Zealand, lovely run down. Hope you caught some of it. Right now, big support area. Boom. So we have not very looking likely that it's going to turn around. But again, look for the key areas of support and resistance, looking for a turn here. Bearing in mind, that's probably a fulfillment of that head and shoulders too, by the way. Just, this is around the 64 area. Haven't been down here since beginning of December last year. Back in October, we got as low as the 62 area. It's just going to be interesting to see. So either a bull signal here or a bear signal underneath, but no current trade at the moment. The USD CAD actually gave us a bit of a lift last week. I didn't take it just simply because I wasn't a happy camper about it. These are the key areas here. And we had a break up. Not sure about this. I did have a nice little trade earlier on, a little bit of a scalp, not much, just a few rats and mice. But this is the key area here, and until it gets up there, I'm not really convinced that we're going any higher. And with the weakness, a little bit of weakness in the US dollar, not major, but a little bit of weakness, it's actually more than likely to get a drift lower, no trade. US Swissy, there isn't any trade right here for me. If this area holds, I'll be looking for an engulfing candle and a move up, but it's got to hold. US JPY today, I opened up down around this key area for 108. I hope you caught this, because this is a beautiful trade down here. I closed all my trades before the weekend. I just had a gut feel, and so I trust that when it happens. This could begin to go to sideways in this range. It could easily look for 109 breakout, and we could get a retest of this area here. Okie dokie. Let's go gold. Just, it's playing hard to get. 1600 is a real key area. I have pending orders up above here, and I'm not touching it. There's my buy. There, or here, I would buy off the top. So right now, I'm just playing it cautiously. Gold's exactly the same. Sorry, silver's exactly the same. This 1850 is a key area. It's just been playing hard to get. So I'm not going to chase the trades. Even if it broke down below this area here, I will not be tempted, simply because I think it's got to break and close below this to even come down and test these areas back to 17, and it could do. We get below 17, and Bob's your uncle, we could be going for it. Let's have a quick look at the dollar index. Look at this candle today, real strong. This is a very key area. What's it going to do? Keep an eye on it. When there's an announcement that maybe Trump is free, you might see this turn around. But if we get a break below here, watch these areas. And if we get a break below this area here, watch pairs like the New Zealand USD. And look, it is breaking today. Let's just check the weekly and then we'll get out of here. Yeah, look at it. Strong candle so far today. And I know on the weekly that this has been a key area as well. Okay, it's not dropping out of bed. We get past this, then we've got some serious potential for the dollar to drop and pairs like the US dollar crosses to make a move for the back up. And there you have it. Take care out there, traders. Stay safe. Protect your capital. Take your profits when they're there. Be aware that the economic calendar is weighted with a lot of high-end stuff. So take a good look at it. Be ready. Be patient. And I think there's plenty of opportunity this week. Cheers. We'll see you in the chat room.